Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to OneHubRacing. This is season 18, and we are here at the Temple of Speed in Monza for the Pinnacle tier for round number 7. It is the Italian Grand Prix. My name is Jess, and joining me, as per usual, is Matt, also known as Indecisive. Mackie, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm really excited for this one. It always seems to be one of the ones that has the most buzz about it in a one-up season. So yeah, I'm happy it's here, and let's see what conditions we have to deal with.
First used in Formula 1 back in 1950 in the first ever official Formula 1 championship, where an Alfa Romeo driver actually won that race. Will we see an Alfa Romeo or even an AlphaTauri win tonight's race? We'll have to wait and see. Those are two of the main teams, which is home Grand Prix tonight, as well as the big one, Tifosi, Ferrari. So those three teams need a good result today in order to succeed. So we'll have a quick look at the track. 5.7 kilometres long, 3.599 miles. It has 11 turns, believe it or not, 4 to the left and 7 to the right. It's a clockwise circuit, and the lap record around here is set by Rubens Barrichello in 2004, the race lap record, with a 121.046. The tyres we've got on offer today: the softs, which are the C4s, they can last 13 laps. Mediums, which is the C3s, they last 17 laps. And the hards, which are the C2s, they can last 21 laps. The tyre degradation, not too bad. And between the softs and the hards, the delta time lost per lap is 1.3. So if I were you, I would avoid the hards whenever you can.
Well, you say that, but someone may have won prospect on that strategy, so maybe not so much anymore.
Yeah, exactly. But maybe if you're near the back potentially as well. But you can do it as long as you have the pace for it. But if you don't have the pace, then it's really no point as well. So last week's result was pretty good. We saw Netsky take the win as he closes up to his championship fight, which is pretty amazing. And the key to in the Ferrari got P2. I'm sure he wants one step higher tonight with the Tifosi watching tonight in Monza. We got Josh in P3, Glock P4, Khalifa in P5. He got driver of the day votes from last week, so well done to him. Calzo in P6, Lark in P7, Konzo P8, Kyle P9, Fatality got P10, his best result in OneHub, Arnold in 11th, and Tomar in 12th. Then we got Netsky that got the fastest lap inside the top 10, Arnold got the fastest lap outside the top 10, and obviously driver of the day goes to Khalifa. And I'll hand it over to Matt to go through the driver standings.
Thanks very much. And after that, we have Netsky out in front with 74 points. And next behind him is Larkin with 58. And then Lakitu, the defending champion, with 57 in third place. Glock in fourth with 48. Then we have Vienna with 43. Khalifa, after that performance, is up to sixth with 38 points. Then you have Jules with 34. Tomar in the Renault on 33. Rafa has 29. Calzo has 27. Josh also 27. And Toxic has 25, Arnott up to 22 now. So he's found some form. Noah has 20, Konzo 18, Cliffy and Kyle both have 8 points. Fatality up to 5. J-Luke has 2 and Ecos Chris has the 1 point. And Constructors, Renault lead the way with 106, Mercedes 99, Alfa Romeo in third with 91, Ferrari in fourth with 85, then McLaren with 76, Red Bull next with 65, Racing Point have 35 in 7th, Williams in 8th with 27, Haas 9th in 25, not good enough boys, get a grip, and 10th is AlphaTauri with 10 points.
I know AlphaTauri would definitely need a much better result to climb their way through the top of the standings, and with this being one of their home tracks on the Formula 1 calendar, I'm sure that they could take advantage of that. We got more drivers than last week, which is great to see as well. We'll go straight to the track very, very shortly as we're about to start qualifying as well. A few drivers have been saying on whether they like this track, if they're happy to race in the Temple of Speed. Glock says he likes racing here, but the pad isn't best suited to the track. I'm sure a few people can agree with Glock and myself there as well. And Calzo said it's not a track that he's had much success around. Low wings make the corners quite challenging, but it could be fun to drive when you're in the groove. And then Konzo said it's one of his favourite tracks to drive, but lack of practice could be an issue, but hoping for a better finish than what he did last week, which was an 8th place. So a bit of a mixed bag, but it's one of the easiest tracks on the calendar, but it's probably prone to more people making mistakes.
Yeah, it's such a high-intensity track as well. You have to be fully focused. A bit like Monaco in that you cannot afford to make any mistakes, because this track can bite and bite hard, especially if you get it wrong into Ascari, as we both found testament to that earlier in Prospect. But there's so many more opportunities to get it wrong as well over the course of the lap that you can't afford to take it lightly.
Yeah, one of those drivers who is worried about Ascari tonight is Toxic. I mean, he's been dreading about this track all week. He said in the Discord chat, no, I don't like this track. But sometimes there's tracks that you don't like, but you usually tend to do well. And that's probably what Toxic is thinking. And the more, pretty much majority of people practice in the tracks they don't like more and practice on the tracks they like more least. So I think we'll probably see least practice from these drivers tonight around Monza, but I have to say we're going to probably expect some much quicker lap times than we saw in the last few races of the season already, mainly due to the fact that it's obviously high speed. Most of the lap can be taken full throttle, around about 70%, I would say. The main braking zones, I would say turn 1, heavy braking zone area, that could be prone to a lot of incidents, and turn 4 as well. The rest of the corners, maybe apart from Ascari, there's a little bit of a dab on the brakes really, so that is probably why some people could make mistakes around there. But Toxic, I think, could be a bit worried, but that could mean that other drivers may take advantage of that as well. And Mercedes need a good running in the constructors, because Renault are leading there massively at the moment, so we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, we do, as we have Gallia cars just making their way to track for their first timed runs of the day, and you can have the final opportunity before you cross the line for real to check if everything's okay with your setup, with your car, the handling and everything. And yeah, there's definitely a lot to look out for in this one. But if you're out front, is that extra pressure? I did put to the drivers in the pre-race conference if they're more leaders or chasers. In fact, do they prefer to be in the lead or chasing their rivals? And Netsky doesn't. He can't say. He does like to be behind, although he knows if he's fast he can get away when he does find a way past. And oh dear me, Calzo also thinks that 90% of the time he's chasing, although he does prefer chasing anyway. He just feels more in control of everything that he needs to be in control of. So keep an eye out for both of these in the race, and especially as we go to hot and cold at this time. Lakitu, after the last week's performance, is back in form and is hot, and well, Cold Driver is, I don't think, is here. So yeah, I think he's still asleep.
Yeah, and both the hot and cold drivers have got to be the Ferrari drivers, and it's a bit of a shame that Rafa's not here tonight, because it would have been nice to see both the Ferrari cars in the home track. So it's all solely on Lakitu, but I know Lakitu's been having much better form as of late, but I wonder if the added pressure of this being their home track may affect them a little bit, or may help them improve, but we'll see, of course. And speaking of pressure, there is rivalries that have been happening, one of which is between Arnaud and Jules. Jules was asked why has Williams struggled since Louis announced he was leaving. Will they look at this season's drivers and bring him back, basically? And Jules did not respond to that, but I would have said, if I was Jules, I would have said, we really need to step up our game. It's not been as good, but we showed our form in the last few races around Austria, for example. So maybe that could give our confidence. Arnold actually responded, and his question was, he had more podiums in Driver of the Day than Jules. He's been a bit lucky this season to be so far ahead of you so far. I think Jules had more consistency in his results than I do. I was caught up in some minor incidents and compromised my race and my results. We got 4 races left to take the most amount of points possible. Me and Cliffy will drive our hearts out, and both of those drivers are here tonight, of course. And the last time Cliffy was here, he got Drive of the Day nomination, which was great to see. He started near the back. I wonder if he's going to be near the back again today. I will not be surprised if he is, because this is a track where alternate strategy, I would say, is king. We've learnt that in many of the other tiers tonight as well. Interesting to see Konzo and Glock have all gone for the medium tyres early on. I thought they would have gone for the soft, personally.
Well, I mean, yeah, they could be trying something. Like, they might not be 100% sure of their race pace, or they might be trying it at the last minute to see what kind of grip they have, with maybe simulate full fuel and stuff like that, which we can check on Taz in a second to see if that's what they're doing. But that is one theory behind why you'd go out on mediums, but maybe they just feel that mediums are better at the start of a race.
Yeah, and to be honest, with the amount of tyre choices you have in the race with the two-stop strategy as well, even starting on mediums won't be too bad, because if there's an early safety car, you still have a lot of mediums in your pocket that you probably barely even used in qualifying, so you could go on those and they could basically be effective turned to a one-stop strategy. So no matter what, if there's an early safety car, maybe pitting at the end of the first few laps would probably be the best idea for the safety car. As Konzo, I think it's just a banker lap for him, really. What about Glock as he heads towards the Parabolica now as well? Quite understeering in places, but if you get it right and go on the power nice and early, then it should really help you with the traction. He comes across the line now, shortest run to the line. What is he going to be? P10 for him right now, and already we're starting to see times in the 118s with Netski, Lakitu, all the way down into P9. Will we see the likes of Netski or Lakitu maybe go into the 117s?
I think there's every chance of that happening. They're not too far off now, and I don't think Lakitu's done his absolute best time yet. And looking at the Taz, he hasn't. He's not purple in any sector, but then in qualifying you tend to see Netski tends to have the better of most drivers here, especially Lakitu, but Lakitu more often than not tends to find a way past in the race, and that's how he won the championship last season. That is how he's going to have to win it this season too.
Yes, last season he was in the lead for most of it, whereas this season Netski has been on top form, as well as Vienna in some races as well. Vienna was quite unlucky in the last few races, but you know, this is quite close, this championship, more than previous seasons. We don't know who's going to do well at any particular track. Netski, I think, is starting to pick up more race wins in a row, so maybe that's his second half of the season showing form going on at the moment, as we're seeing the McLarens giving each other a little bit of a tow as they head towards turn one, so fair play to both of them as well. I think we could see more people giving each other the tow, I think, around turn 4 and for 3 and 4, maybe towards Ascari as well, potentially. So we'll keep an eye on that. Calzo was on a lap, but he is invalidated. Arnold comes across the line now, and it's a 118.2. That puts him in P6. Not too bad for him so far. Only a few tenths shy off pole position. This grid is just so close already. What about Toxie? He's just started his lap. Netski is about to start his lap as well. Not many people are finishing right now, but yeah, this could be the closest qualifying of the season. It's just so brilliant.
It has, and I think you're going to have this one and Brazil as probably the closest qualifying of the season, especially in this tier, by Brazil to come later on in the season. But Larkin, you saw earlier on, he was using the Total's advantage, but it didn't really work out because he invalidated 2 corners later. So that's always the perils of trying to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there was a few points in the stewards briefing earlier on that the drivers were told to keep an eye on as well. And in particular, obviously, turn 1 and 2, and the chicanes made for Ascari and through the Lesmos as well. Drivers usually attempt to hold the position, but then when it goes wrong and they go percents, then that's where they mess it up, and maybe they just go off and they have an unsafe rejoin, and then it just does not work. So it's very, very safe, I would say, just to let the cars pass if you haven't made a mistake, and then you can go and drive on because you made a mistake, not the cars in front. And I think Ascari is going to be the one that punishes mistakes as well. And we're going to watch out for the pit lane as well, because I think a few people can potentially take advantage of that. And this is one of the pit lanes as well around this track, where the pit entry is so close that if you speed into the pit lane, then you could get a penalty. I think in all the tiers tonight, we've seen at least one driver fall victim of the 5-second penalty. I believe Kingan was one of them as well, so that was a bit of a shame. But yeah, watch out for the pit lane entry tonight, because I think we could see people just go in there too fast and then they don't realise the speed limit, and then boom, they get a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, who would speed in the pit lane while surfing the drive-through anyway?
Yeah.
What was I thinking? Anyhow, I'm just watching Khalifa on a lap. I don't think he's going to trouble the top of the scores, but he may well improve here. But having said that, he looks like he might be going into the pit lane. He always likes to trick me on qualifying laps, but he has gone P2, and that is a much better lap than even I thought, because he looked a bit slow in the middle, but there you go. 18.1 for Khalifa.
That's a good lap from him, but Netsky is the first driver to go into the 1 minute 17, so that's really, really helping him as well. Toxic, one of the only 3 drivers to not set a lap time, but Netsky is really saying a statement over his rivals. I want to win this championship this year. I just missed out last season. I don't want it to be the same this season. I want to be out in front and let the other guys chase me down, and I think that's what Netsky is intending to do. After this round, we'll have literally not that long to go. We'll have 3 rounds after tonight, so the championship could get even closer and closer. But nice to see Khalifa there doing well. Josh as well, still keeping up his consistent form in 4th position. He was one of the Driver of the Day nominations. He just missed out by Khalifa, but he definitely deserved that as well. So let's look at the drivers' press conference this week. We got Glock, who was in it this week. He did respond luckily, so we will talk about it. He was asked by the OneHub media, you're having a solid season, but who do you think is the title favourite in this tier? And surprise, surprise, he said Netsky. It's Netsky's to lose. He's been very consistent and quick, and decently in the championship, and surely he can't bottle this one. And I have to agree. I'm sure the majority of drivers will probably think the same thing, Matt.
Yeah, I think if you ask a lot of people, most might say Netsky, most could say Lakitu because they know how good he is, especially given last season. But it's certainly, definitely Netsky's to lose at the moment. But one bad result for him and one terrific one for Lakitu, and it switches back on its head like it was a few weeks ago.
Exactly, Lakitu was just very unlucky in terms of the wet conditions. It wasn't good at all in Austria, but then in the dry, he was home really. He enjoyed the conditions last week when we went to Barcelona, and he could have got the victory, but I don't think he was aiming for the victory. He was not too bad with its 2nd position. He almost got my Drive of the Day vote as well, but we'll see how he does as well. I'm just trying to see in Taz who is actually going fast on the lap. It's very tough to call at the moment. I think a few people are not even on final push laps at the moment, so obviously with 5 minutes left to go. But Konzo just passed the second leadsman, now looking very, very comfortable at the moment. He wants to do well to help his teammate, I would say, as well. But he's got his own race to fight for as well, as we're seeing quite more fast time. Josh, Khalifa's teammate, comes across the line in P2, a 117.998, 2,000 shy than the 118. So he's just in the 117s, I have to say. And I've got to say as well, the Red Bulls are looking strong on this track tonight.
Yeah, they are. And I'm just wondering if they are that close in qualifying, what are they going to do in the race? Who's going to get the first pit stop? Is Khalifa going to have to revert back to type, try the undercut, because he wouldn't be able to pit after Josh, as he could be the lead car, so that's something to keep an eye on in the race. But for now, everyone's Barkelzo is out on track, and J. Lucas finally set a time today.
Yeah, not too bad for him. A 118.837 puts him in P13. I'm just going to look through the sector times. Vienna was fastest sector 1, and Netsky was fastest in the other 2 sectors as well. So Netsky didn't have the clean sweep yet, so I think he needed to find just a little bit of time in the final sector. I think about a few attempts, and he would have been, I would say, in the 117.87 area. So yeah, I know Netsky's got a lot of time to find. I know the 2 Red Bulls as well. Lakitu's definitely got a lot of time to find, I've got to say. He was looking comfortable in the first sector, not so comfortable in the second and third. So we need to find more time there as well, as does a few other drivers. Toxic, meanwhile, is our lap as well. He's in at P5 at the moment as well. We're just about to head to the calm before the storm. Cliffy, I know, is not pushing too much. He's probably going slow on purpose. Calzo's not set a lap. I wonder if these two are going to be one starting from the back. So maybe starting from the back is not too bad. We saw what happened to CJW. He, in the safety car, it was near the back of the grid. The safety car helped him and he won the race. So, anything can happen in OneHub, and it usually does. So never give up hope if you start at the back, or if you're doing a safety car, you're at the back, because you can still end up near the top of the grid if you play your cards right.
You can, and I noticed Cliffy was probably going slow on purpose because he did invalidate, so he's probably just saving his tyres. I don't know if he's going to pit now, because I don't know if he'll get back out there, so he'll probably just go again now while he's out there with a clearish track. there is a little bit of traffic out there, but he has pitted, so we'll see if he can make it back out there. But he may well be trying to do what DJ did in the Prospect here. And Calzo's out on track again, and let's see if he can beat at least his brother.
Yeah, I like the brother rivalry at OneHubRacing. We saw that with the Hoffner brothers as well a few seasons ago, and now we're seeing it with Calzo and Konzo as well. And I wonder if they've been keeping tally, I would say, of how well they've been doing in qualifying in the races since Calzo joined, or maybe Konzo just not paying attention to that as well. And I kind of wanted to see what Micah would have done with Mick potentially on track, but in real life to see what they would have done, because that would have been absolutely amazing. But unfortunately, we're going to never see that happen, as everyone's on their outlaps at this moment in time with just 1 minute and 50 to go. Hopefully we won't get a Monza 2019/2020 situation at the moment, but we're seeing a lot of traffic through sector 1 right now, which is a bit worrying, but let's hopefully people can spread out around the track. Tom R though is on a lap. He's probably going to have a lot of people trying to move out the way for him, so I'm a bit worried for him as well. Arnold's on the lap. Noah's on the lap as well, just about to start too, so I wonder if people will be on more than one push lap, or maybe their last lap would be good enough. Calzo's about to start a lap too as well, and Chris, being a very naughty boy, forgot to put these tags onto public, so he'll be getting a 5-second penalty at the end is added to the end of his race time, unfortunately. I think he probably changed his gamer tag and forgot to change his telemetry. But there we go. Enough said on that one. Let's see what Arna could do as he heads towards Parabolica. We'll follow Tom R next as he heads towards the final corner. I wonder if Arna could go any higher than the 118 too. It's not far off the 117, and he goes third fastest. Tom R, who's had bad luck last week, he spun it in a wall in the final few corners in Spain. What could he do here? He doesn't improve, so he's going to go out again.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Calzo, who has been tracking for the whole of that time, and Calzo goes in P10, so he does jump above his brother, but his brother is on an out lap, and he has just about enough time to get round the Parabolica and start his final lap of the session. So who's going to come out on top of that rivalry? Is Glock going to do anything special? Is he going to get up there? Is Lakitu going to respond? I think we should find out in the next about 90 seconds or so. Khalifa will definitely respond as well. He's not going for it just yet, but he's going to shortly, or time will be running out, so I don't think Khalifa's going to improve. I said that earlier, and look what he did, but I was right this time. Thankfully.
Down.
Yeah, I saw he was down, but it's good to get something right in qualifying for once.
Netsky comes across the line.
Wow.
And he is pole position 117.6. I had a feeling he had stuff to find in the final sector and in the middle sector potentially as well. And I was right with that front. Josh Khalif, his teammate, he is invalidated, so none of the Red Bulls are going to improve. Arnold is not going to improve either. Tom R, all of a sudden, he's gone into the 117 as well. He comes across the line in P2. What a lap from him. Lakitu, purple in the second sector. We'll keep an eye on the other cars as well as they cross the line. J-Luke going towards Parabolica. We also got a McLaren. Not quite sure who that is, but let's follow Jamie first. I believe it's Konzo that'll be coming across the line soon, but Jamie comes across the line P16. Konzo, what can he do? P14, let's go on board with Lakitu. Can he improve on his 118? Yes, he can. The two championship contenders are currently sitting P1 and P2. What about Cliffy? Nah, he's slowing on the line on purpose, but he does improve anyway. Yeah. But Netsky and Lakitu, your championship contenders, that are P1 and P2 in the championship, are P1 and 2 on track now. This is going to be very, very exciting.
It's certainly on, isn't it? And I think that's all we're going to have in this session. But what's the weather going to be in the race? We don't know that, of course. It could rain, and that could change everything on its head as well. But for the moment, Netsky has the advantage over Lakitu. But things can change very quickly in the world of Formula 1 and league racing, and very often does. Remember
last year as well, we had that red flag, which for a lot of can of worms, I have to say, and we saw Pierre Gasly take his first win of actual his F1 career. I wonder if we're going to see the same today. Will we see surprises in OneHub? Only time will tell. We saw quite a few people take their first wins of the season. I wonder if we'll see that today. So let's go for your qualifying then. Netsky on pole. With Lakitu in P2, quite close though between the top 14, but we've got Tomar in third, Toxic fourth, Josh fifth, Arnold in sixth, good qualifying for him, Khalifa in seventh, Jules in eighth, Noah in ninth, Calzo in a 10th. Then we got Fatality, Chris, Vienna, Konzo, Larkin, Kyle, J-Luke, Glock, and Cliffy. Cliffy, the only driver not to set a representative lap time. He'll be starting at the back of the grid, which probably won't be a bad idea at the end of the day. So we don't get find out what the weather is. We don't ask the drivers. So it's going to be a surprise for us as well. But don't forget, if you want to find out how your favourite driver is doing, type !help in the Twitch chat, and then you will see a list of commands. So before we get to the qualifying, let Matt take you through all of our sponsors, collaborators, and partners that we have.
Thanks, Jess. Keeping an eye on the grid as well, see if they do that. But Liam RBS is sponsoring the trophies for us, and Next Level Racing are giving a Simlight rig to the winner of the giveaway, and Jules is a naughty engine. Vespertine are our partners. Wonderful stuff they do. Time to Print 3D. You can get 20% off the track if you type in, I think, code OneHub, and this week's track is Monza, so you will get that 20% off. And you have the ERT Go and Get Stuff award for all the drivers that do all the interviews, come races, and do all the extra responsibilities in the media. And the last sponsor is, partner is Free M, who give away a pair of sim racing gloves to the most fastest lap and the winner of the most pole positions in the league. So that is quite an awesome prize. And let's have a look at tyre strategies.
Yes, we can. So just give me a second. So quite a mixed bag, actually. I thought more people would be going on the soft compounded tyres, but quite a lot of people outside the top 10 opted for the mediums. The only ones that are on the softs is Konzo, Jamie, and Cliffy. I thought he wanted to be on the softer tyre at the start to have the advantage, and then at the end also be on the soft as well. I thought it would be an easy soft, medium, soft strategy, but I think a lot of people are comfortable that there's going to be no safety car. Even the alternate strategy king, Cliffy, is going for the soft, so he's probably knowing something that we are not. And obviously the top 10, they're qualified on the soft, so they'll be starting on the soft compounded tyres. So Matt, any surprises on why people are potentially opted for the mediums more than the softs outside the top 10?
No surprises. I'm actually staggered still that we didn't see more of them down in Prospect earlier. I don't know, I keep mentioning Prospect, but that's where I get most of my experiences. And I just want to mention, pretty much a second between first and 18th on the grid in qualifying. That is pretty sensational, and you can see why it's such an honour to be here every week calling the action in the Pinnacle tier. But I'm not surprised by any of these strategies. I think maybe if I was a level 12, I might be tempted with the softs to stick with the leader strategy, but pretty much as I might expect.
Okay, as we're waiting for the final few drivers to come across the line then, the drivers really need to be on their A game. We're going to keep an eye on Lakitu, who is the home favourite. The Tifosi are cheering on, the Italian flags are waving, as we've got a few disqualifications already from the formation lap. That is not good. The drivers are going to get cold tyres. But anyway, it's not going to be that bad because I think they collided just before the Parabolica. But we got Netsky that's going to line up at the front with Lakitu in P2. Lakitu is going to be starting on the right-hand side of the track, which ideally, if I were you, maybe the left-hand side would probably be the better side of the track to start on, but we will have to wait and see, of course, as we're waiting for the final few drivers to come across the line. Watch out for turn 1, like we said earlier. That is the main surest point that we're going to bring up today. That could be a few issues at the moment. But anyway, the 5 red lights are on. Netsky on the right of your screen, Lakitu on the left, and it is lights out, and away we go. Netsky's got a better start than Lakitu. What about Tomar as well? We got Toxic that's had a very good start as well, heading towards turn 1, side by side with Lakitu. Lakitu's been caught off guard all of a sudden. It's going to be a Mercedes 1-2. Tomar could almost make Lakitu lose another position. Yes, he does. Tomar is up into P3 already. Are there any contact in turn 1? Doesn't look like it. Everyone has kept it relatively clean, but wow, Toxic, who said he doesn't like this track, well, he's proving us wrong at the moment, and Toxic is going to make a fantastic move up the inside, and he's up into the lead of this race. I never would have saw this coming. Jules gets past Noah and Khalifa, and as I think there's a bit of scrapping at the back. There's just so many battles going up at the moment. Chris is up into P12. He's had a good start as well. He's going side by side with Konzo up into the second Lesmo, I think, as well. I have to say, people are taking a lot of risks, and it's definitely paying off. I'm very, very impressed with this racing so far at the moment.
Yeah, that's the power of the soft tyres at this start of a race. You can possibly pull off moves that you might not think are on, because such the amount of grip difference that you can get.
Prix has binned it in Ascari.
Yeah, that's victim number 73 of the weekend, I think, but certainly victim number 1 of this race, and that's probably a good thing. Some people are going to get off the softs under the VSC. Oh, no, Toxic. That's probably why he doesn't like the track. He's gone from great to terrible.
Yes, I did say earlier on in the broadcast, watch out for the pit entries. Drivers need to be aware of their surroundings, because when following a car in the pits, you need to brake a bit earlier, and even the pit entry is quite difficult. So, yeah, unfortunately, he's going to have to serve it at his next pit stop. But Netsky stayed out, so is Khalifa, Larkin, Fatality, so they could have took advantage of the safety, the VSC. Unfortunately, did not. Arnold actually did not lose a position, I don't think. Actually, no, I think it's probably the position's just losing track on me at the moment. So I'm trying to find out when the position fixed itself. But the only 4 drivers on the softs that stayed out are Netsky, Lakitu, Calzo and Khalifa. Everyone else that was on the softs had gone into the pits. Khalifa is also the other soft runner who is not boxed, and he's staying on the soft compounded tyres. But you can't really gamble on the VSC, but if you do gamble, like the ones who just pitted did, it could work out in your favour, because you only need to stop one more time. Effectively, the ones that just pitted, they're losing less time in the pits, and they're now effectively on a one-stop strategy now.
Yep, that's what you got to think of. One less stop to do than people around you, so you could have people in the net lead that you might not expect at the start. But I think Arnold got a penalty for speeding under the VSC, which seemed to pop up quite late on my screen. Don't know about your end, but it's definitely one of those days for him already. But I think he's going to be able to shrug that off. But one of these drivers is definitely not on task, because it's come up with player whatever it was. That's confusing.
I think someone has just joined midway through qualifying, I think. So we had 18 drivers at the start, now we have 19. So I need to double check that's an Tauri. That is Kyle. So if you're wondering what player 18 is on the bot, that is Kyle. We can't do anything about it, unfortunately. It's Toxic is out of the race. He had a very good start. He took the lead in pretty much turn 4, and he's binned it. Well, that's the commentator's curse, I have to say. And I said he didn't like the track. I said he was doing so well at the start. And I choked it, didn't I? So Toxic is now out of this race.
Yeah, you don't like to see retirements at any age, and I'm not really sure what happened there. I was just focused on the midfield, and I completely didn't see it. But you have Josh gaining on Arnold all the time now, and I think Arnold's just trying to take it a little bit easier after that penalty that he's picked up early. But Jules is taking a fine line there with the track limits as well as he comes out of Ascari. But at the moment you have Lakitu is in the lead over Netsky, which isn't too bad for either of those drivers at the moment. But Khalifa in P3 could be threatening later on, but Calzo is threatening now to the position of Khalifa. Who's going to come out in front by the end of this lap? But we'll find out shortly. But anything else you want to mention at the moment, Jess? Let's just have a look.
Not much going on at the moment, apart from between the likes of Arnold and Jules. They've been called in the rivalries earlier on this week, and they're definitely fighting on track. We got another yellow flag. There's Vienna, who's binned it somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where, but let's follow the battle between Jules and Arnold as well. Jules trying to defend off the left-hand side as well. Arnold decides to stay put at the moment, but Jules made a bit of a mistake there almost. Arnold almost made the advantage work, but he did not. Luckily, no collisions there as well. That's allowing Josh and Noah to close in as well, which is great to see. Nice to see a DRS chain starting to form at the front, the middle, the back, everywhere, I have to say. But we're starting to see more people make some mistakes. Arnold manages to get past Jules in Ascari. Cliffy does the same, maybe in the Parabolica, but can he make it stick? He's got Larkin fighting as well into the final corner. I think Larkin's got the better line as well, but maybe Cliffy has the edge here as well, and the pace, and he does as well. Cliffy is up into 6th place of this race, but don't forget he needs to stop as well as Larkin as well, so they are effectively fighting for track position, but that's some very good moves. Arnold on the meanwhile is boxed, so I wonder if he's picked up damage. Let me check Taz to see if he has picked up damage. Nope, he is not. Oh, is he saying he's drive? Did he get a drive-through? I thought he got a speeding. He got a drive-through.
I think he's... I don't see it. He said he's... oh yeah, he's done his drive-through. Yeah, he just said he'd entered for the second stop and Taz was a little bit slow. But yeah, he's done his drive-through, which of course you have to do within 3 laps again. But that move by Cliffy, that came from about half a lap ago. He was lining that one up. I was watching the whole thing and it was quite sensational to see 2 cars go side by side and not touch each other through there. Brilliant stuff.
Cliffy likes this track. I remember watching a race in another league where he started 20th and he ended up winning this race, and he's a Monza merchant, I've got to say as well. So, but I'm not going to jinx him anymore because he's one of the drivers in my fancy league in OneHubRacing, so I'm not going to say anything more, so I'll jinx Cliffy. Sorry, Cliffy. Anyway, Cliffy looks like he's going to go for another move on those soft tyres. He will need to stop again also as well. Let's see if Cliffy has the edge on Glock. Cliffy is just so much faster on these mediums. I wonder if the softs are starting to die out in terms of optimum pace already. I won't be surprised if they do, but Cliffy gets the job done once again. He is flying on those medium compounded tyres, and he's now going to try and catch soft tyres, sorry, not mediums, blocks on the mediums. But he's flying on those softs. The next victim is Calzo. It's going to be difficult, though, because they're on the same tyres, but I'm sure he'll be happy with 5th position right now. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead, I did not see that coming. Lakita is now your race leader. Sorry I missed that. There was so much battles happening everywhere else. I missed the battle for the lead, but Lakita, who is chasing that skiing the championship, got the move done. I don't know where we got the move done, but he did. Anyway, I'll need to actually double check when. I think it was quite a bit ago, actually. It was lap 2. So, yeah, I definitely missed that.
Yeah, there's so much going on, but Cliffy's got a 3-second time penalty, and is Netsky going to try? Yeah, Lakitu just backed off way off before the Parabolica. He wants no part of any collision through there. So, Netsky back in the lead of this race. But Lakitu is going to have the much better drag coming out of the corner, so he could well get back past by turn 1, and he does that. It looks like they're playing cat and mouse with each other, and this should be a fantastic little battle between them for the rest of the race, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's going to go on for quite a bit, and there's so much even on pace around this circuit. I've seen in other leagues as well that I'm not surprised that they're this closer together as well. They were quite close in qualifying as well. The key too had a bad start, but his race pace is definitely making up for that. Meanwhile, we're seeing more drivers head into the pits. We've got Calzo onto the medium compounded tyres for his first stop, and so is Cliffy as well on to a set of the mediums. They rejoin in 13th and 15th place, with 2 drivers picking up penalties so far. I won't be surprised if we see more. Netsky's dropped a little bit from Lakita. I wonder if he's going to gain speed through the DRS and straight line speed as he had, as he gets towards the Scary. Now these tricky sector canes, right, left, right and left. Left, right, left, I should say, not right, left, left. I need to get my lefts and rights not mixed up. But anyway, Netsky, 4 attempts now is the gap. You've got to be, I think, within about 2 attempts to make better of it. And I think he's going to do so in at the final corner of Parabolica then. So he's got the DRS racing, he's got the overtake. Lakita's in the pits. Netsky stays out. So Lakita is going for the undercut. And Khalifa went for the overcut last week. This week, he's going for the undercut.
Yeah, I did wonder at the time if he's going to revert back to type this week. It looks like maybe, but I will hold off judgment until the end of this race, as Glock is overtaken by Larkin into turn 1 comfortably. Just before that, I think ERS was definitely used to the max, as well as DRS opening the wing at the activation point. But Vienna is looking at the back of this, of his teammate, and Larkin is not looking comfortable in P2, even though he did get the move done. He looks a little bit slidey on the exit of some corners.
He's getting swamped at the moment, I have to say, and the slides will definitely cost him and it will allow Glock and Vienna to work together. It's nice to see the Alfa Romeos doing well at this track so far on those mediums. We saw that work out really, really well in the TRs racing in Prospect, and they managed to get a 3-4 in the race. So I wonder if they saw what happened in Prospect and they're going to do the same here in Pinnacle, would work in together. And Monza's one of those tracks where if you work well with your teammate, you can get good results, as Vienna, I think, is definitely faster than Glock this lap, and it's definitely showing at the moment. But Netsky will have to probably thinking about pitting soon, as Netsky's the only driver on the softs that's still out. I wonder if the undercut's going to pay dividends. Luckily, Netsky did not get a speeding penalty. He's flying the flag solo for Mercedes with now Toxic out of the race, and same Lakitu with Ferrari, but his teammate is probably still asleep anyway. He'll probably be on the coal list next week as well, unfortunately. But let's see, Lakitu comes across the line. He's got a bit of traffic behind him though, so he's going to be very, very close. Let's watch Netsky. Oh, it's going to be so tight. They're going to be going side by side into turn one. I think Lakitu just has the edge there, but I think it would have been not that close if he was in clear air, which he was not, unfortunately, Lakitu. But he still holds on to the lead anyway. But the two of them, they're going to be on a massive fight throughout the rest of this race. I don't know how well the points gap at this stage, but if Lakitu wins this race, not only it's good for Tifosi, it's good for us as commentators and as viewers as well to see a very close championship. But we'll find out very soon. Josh as well, even though he's on the old set of mediums, he's doing quite well as well. Don't forget, he only needs to start once, so he's effectively on the same strategy as what Netsky and Lakitu are on, but on fresher tyres, on older tyres, sorry. Same with Tom Hart as well. Tom Hart is a thing, effectively, your net race leader, I believe, as I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is as well, so that is good. He got his first race win at, I can't remember what track.com, in the top tier of OneHubRacing. Could he get his second one here tonight? Well, with him being the net race leader at the moment, that BSC has definitely helped him, as Glock and Larkin go into the pits for their first stop.
Yeah, just another update on the standings. If Lakitu were to win this race, and if Netsky somehow doesn't score any points, then Lakitu would be in the lead by 3. So that's how much of a good position Netsky is in right now. But as it stands, Lakitu would be still in the lead of the championship comfortably. But there's a lot can happen over the next 18 laps. And yeah, there's so many more drivers that could well be in this at the end as well, if there's any sort of safety cars or any strategy changes. So don't take your eyes off this one. We're going nowhere till we see who wins, and I'm excited.
I think this could be the best race of the season so far. The battles are amazing so far. The strategies has definitely changed things a lot. We've got people that benefit from the VSC, people that did not pit as well. But for Lakitu and Netsky, I don't think it's mattered too much, apart from that they're worried that Tom Hart is leading the way so far as well. Let's see if Tom Hart could get rid of the bad luck he had last week. And Josh has got his first penalty of the session. Naughty engine, does the Red Bull driver. Well, let's see if Netsky can close up to Lakitu once again, which he does not. But luckily, Lakitu's under DRS of Tom R. We do have a yellow flag in sector 3. That is an AlphaTauri, and that is J-Luke that binned it in Ascari. I did not see what happened there, but I can see on the track map that he's binned it in Ascari. So unfortunate for him, but that hasn't brought out a safety car or VSC or anything like that. So that is another bad race to add in his Pinnacle career, as Fatality is the last person to pit before their first stop. I believe everyone else has done one stop, and we got Calzo that gets past Khalifa at the Curva Grande. But I know Khalifa's definitely going to fight it back, but he just doesn't have the power to do so at the moment. He's running low on ERS as well, whereas Calzo is on 32. So Calzo's got the most to gain in this situation. Meanwhile, Glock on those fresher softs gets past Cliffy. Oh, it's very tight. Glock did get a penalty, and that's Cliffy that's gone into the wall. He got very, very power hungry there, unfortunately. I think it was very unlucky. I think it was a racing incident, unfortunately. But that is Cliffy down the place. I wonder if he's going to go on to maybe another set of mediums, because don't forget he did start on the softs. So he could go to the mediums until the end, and it may not affect his race too much. I think the only hope is it's going to be a safety car. I don't think there is a safety car happening with the way these people are driving, but you never know. And if Cliffy pit and then the safety car comes in a few laps time, then it could really throw him back into this race. But for now, the Williams boys are not doing very well, currently sitting in 14th and 16th.
Yeah, looks like Louis may be fielding some calls there. Just throw back to earlier on in the session. But yeah, I was about to say, how has Cliffy got through there without making contact, and then he's on the grass and keeping it out the wall, and luckily he didn't get any damage, so that was a bonus for him, but not much else has gone right so far today, but still plenty of time to change that, and Netsky is down in third place while Lakitu is in the lead, so will Netsky be able to get back past Tomar on this lap? Stay tuned and find out.
Yep, indeed, as Tom R actually got past Lakitu because Tom R was the net race leader. Lakitu, with the fresher tyres, got past quite convincingly, and he's up into the race lead, and it's not going to help Netsky. He wants to get past Tom R on those fresher tyres, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. Netsky is doing very well with his ERS, more than anyone actually, 40% almost, as he's using his overtake through the parabolic. Is he going to make it stick on the right-hand curve there? Yes, he does as well. A parabolica move that made it stick, so brilliant job from him. I don't think he's going to get DRS, though. Yes, he does. Both drivers have DRS, so game on for the Mercedes and the Renault driver. The Lakitu must be loving this. Tom R slowed down just a tiny bit as well, probably braking just a little bit earlier. Noah gets past Jules up into 5th place. Two Haas drivers having a good race at the moment. They're in P5 and 6 at the moment. Don't forget they pitted in the VSC as well, so they only have to stop one more time as well. Don't forget the top 12 score points at OneHub, and there's also fastest lap points for inside the top 10 and outside the top 10. So if you're running a bad race, like the two Williams boys, for example, you can still get points that way, and that's what most people did. Is someone almost binned it, and that was a racing point. I didn't see which racing point it was. It was Jules, who I thought was a Haas car a moment ago, but it was not. It was a racing point. They looked quite similar. Meanwhile, Fatality's up into 13th, one place shy of the points. He could be on a point streak so far, but he has got a penalty though, so he's got to make sure everyone else gets penalties and they could be back up there, scoring some more points. He got his best result in OneHub last week. Could he get another point to add to his name this week? We'll have to wait and see. He's on the form right now in terms of points.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, and all the 9 drivers that have penalties, they all have 3 seconds each, so there's definitely going to be some more to come in this race, but whether we see that decide who wins the race or not remains to be seen. But Netsky is back in P2 and looks a little bit more comfortable than Lakitu in the lead. It looks as though Netsky's set up for the immense run into turn 1, and Lakitu looks like he's got a little bit more cornering speed. So who's going to come out at the end of this race on top? It's going to be fascinating to find out, but there's so many battles, I cannot keep up with them.
It looks like Netsky is doing a lot better on his tyres. Meanwhile, Vienna on his fresher softs gets past Konzo before turn 4. Jules gets a 3-second time penalty. We'll watch the battle for the lead very, very closely, because I won't be surprised if it changes once again before the driver heads into the pits. Believe it or not, we're already halfway through this race. Already, it's gone that quick. Monza is one of the shortest races in terms of time on the calendar. I think more than Monaco, I have to say, as well, but the shortest on the OneHub calendar at least. And we only had one VSC so far, no safety car. The drivers are doing very, very well. Many of the people that have made mistakes by themselves are the ones that were tired. So there's not really much contact from what I've seen so far, so good job. And massive shout out to the Pinnacle tier, by the way, for last week. No reported instance either, so well done to these guys. Hopefully we'll get a clean sweep again this week, obviously apart from Chris, who will get a Taz penalty, with I think Jules getting the 5-second penalty for running up too early, but there won't be any stewards reports hopefully this week. So Netsky's dropped a bit from Lakitu. I want to be saving his tyres at the moment. From lap 14, it's when the drivers on the mediums can really start to go on the sauce, but you really wouldn't be on much fresher tyres towards the end, so maybe towards lap 16, 17, I would say, to go onto the softs for one final time and one final push, and then that'll be it. The McLarens are definitely working together there, with Konzo versus Larkin still going side by side there. Larkin up into P10, Konzo stays in P11. I wonder if Glock can get him anytime soon. It's going to be hard with the dirty air, of course, and may hinder other people's races. Khalifa on the back of Jules. I think Khalifa's got better straight line speed than Jules, and I won't be surprised if Khalifa gets past Jules anytime soon. Can Jules defend? He is defending, and Jules is having none of that from Khalifa, so people almost spinning in the sky, but luckily they are not at this stage. If I'm looking at Khalifa's tyres, Khalifa is doing a lot better on his tyres right now, but he's on 6-lap fresher tyres, so that's understandable. But the rear lefts on Jules' car is not looking very good, almost at 60%. Same with Josh Tomar as Jules goes into the pits, and he's doing the undercut, and he's going into the pits for one final time. And will he go on the softs or will he go on the mediums? I won't be surprised if softs go on this car. No, he goes on the medium. No, he's on the softs. I saw McLaren go onto the medium tyres, which I believe is Konzo. I'm guessing. I'm a bit shocked about that, but obviously Jules did the right thing going on the softs. Konzo, I'm guessing he wanted to play it safe, but you could go to the end from lap 14 from here. So I'm a bit shocked, but we'll see why Konzo's picked it towards the end of the race.
Maybe he just didn't have any fresh softs left after qualifying, because that may be the thinking behind some of these drivers as well. But yeah, softs could definitely, fresh softs that is, can definitely go to the end if they put them on now. But it's definitely intriguing to see drivers are comfortable over 60% damage, and some of them are not. As you can see, Josh is out there with 63% on his rear, rear tyre, and I forget the words. It's so excited watching all these. And just to pick up on your point about stewards earlier, the incidents, some of them were not included because still we have drivers not using the correct template or posting after the deadline, which is tomorrow at midnight, Saturday night, Sunday morning. So any clips in after that will not be looked at, and those not using the correct template won't be looked at either. The stewards are busy enough as it is, so just please follow the templates. But other than that, yeah, so far it looks to be a clean battle for battle racing, and that is what we like to see here in the Pinnacle tier.
I think most of the other tiers, I think there was a few people taking risks and did not pay off. So if you're watching from the other tiers, this tier is an example of how you race at Monza. Real-to-real racing, making it stick. If you don't have space, you don't go for the move. So I'm sure that the other drivers will be learning from this tier after tonight as well. So we'll have to wait and see, of course. Arno is potentially could be in for some points. I believe Arno will need to stop once, or yeah, he will have to stop once, I believe. So one more time, because I know he stopped twice, but those means will definitely not make it to the end. So I wonder if he's going to go for the fastest lap. And Lakitu, this has gone worse for Lakitu. He has got a 3-second time penalty. So if Netsky could just stay behind Lakitu until the end of this race, Netsky will be on for another race victory. That is very, very unfortunate for Lakitu. Lakitu's going to hope Netsky gets a penalty. And not much challenge there for Lakitu. A bit of a swap there. Netsky is in the lead. Meanwhile, Tomar and Khalifa's gone in. We saw Josh pit in a moment ago, as well as Jules and Noah. So most of these drivers, apart from obviously Konzo, are going for the soft compound of tyres. Carl will be coming in very, very shortly as well. I'm a bit shocked on the top three, not deciding to pit yet, but Calzo's having a good race so far as well. Fair play to him, but we're going to keep an eye on the pit lane exit as well, because he's going to lose a chunk of time to the likes of Tomar as well. I need to actually check the pit lane loss around Monza. It's around about 23 seconds, so yeah, Calzo I think is going to drop in 7th or 8th. I can't do math, but there we go. But interesting feat at the moment, but the Keys are not under huge threat of losing P2, but if he gets past Netsky, he's got to get within 3 seconds clear. And with these two fighting throughout the whole race, I don't think it's going to happen, but Lakitu's just going to not give up, and probably what he's going to do right now is pressure Netsky into a mistake.
Yeah, that's sometimes all you need to do is pressure the guy in front into a mistake. I think that what might have happened when Lakitu got his. But looking at Taz, Caldo has pit stops are happening.
I just saw someone's end plate missing. I'm not sure if it was Netsky. It's Lakitu. Lakitu had a bit of his missing end plate missing, and he had to go into the pit and repair it. So I don't know what happened there. So is the Ferrari curse happening all of a sudden? I don't know. That has handed Netsky the race lead comfortably. And guess what? It may not be the race lead. The undercut may work perfectly for Tom R. Tom R is now your race leader. Who would have thought that as well as they head towards turn 1? Lakitu has dropped down into P6. What a shame there. That is just gutting. I think the pit lane just caught them there unawares, unfortunately, but I'm sure that the stewards may look into that, or they might not. It may just be a racing incident, but yeah, even the slightest amount of end play damage, the pit crew are forced on this game to pit to repair it, and you can't really change if you can or not because you're already committed to the pit lane. So very unlucky for Lakitu, and sorry to interrupt you there earlier. I just had to cover that.
Yeah, it's alright, I saw it as well, but I was going to say Kelso has 3 seconds but only 1 warning, so I don't know how he's managed to do that, but that's some going to do that. It happened to me earlier as well, but Tom Hart, as you say, is in the lead and he's looking quite comfortable as he's got those tyres in the operated window, and Netsky's just about doing that now after a full lap, so I think Netsky will start to come back at Tom Hart, and it looks as though we're going to have a new battle for the lead between Tom and Netsky, and Lakitu's had an absolute nightmare there, down in P6. He started higher than that, so that if you got him on your fancy teams, who would do that, Lee? That's not good at the moment, but he's got plenty of chance to cut back up the field, and you never really know what's about to happen.
There could be a safety car that could be thrown into the mix, and then Lakitu could be back into this race as well. But to be honest, he's going to hope that there is no safety car, as only a few drivers on this grid do not have penalties. Tomar being one of them, Netsky, Vienna and Larkin, and we'll keep an eye on the penalties as well in terms of drivers that have not got penalties. So Tomar's on 1 warning, Netsky's on 1 warning. What about Vienna? Where is he? Vienna's on 2 warnings, so if he gets 1 more, he will have a penalty. And Larkin is on 1 warning. So everybody has got at least 1 warning this race. No one is squeaky clean today, but at least a few drivers have got penalties so far. I have to say, Josh is having another stellar race right now, but he's under pressure from both Noah and Jules. I got to say, his form has definitely improved pretty much since last week. He got a podium last week. He impressed me. That's why he got the driver of the day vote from myself. So he could be one of the contenders here as well. But I wonder if Noah's going to get him towards turn 1. It's going to be very close. ERT versus ERT teammates fighting to the death right now. I know they're in the same esports team, but they're in different constructors, and they want to help their constructors do well and score high in this championship. And Josh stays ahead at this moment in time. We'll keep an eye on the battle with Tomar and Netsky as well. Larkin being 3 tenths clear behind Vienna as well. That could be a good battle as well. I wonder where they're going to jump. The order could change massively with all the drivers still so close in this tier already. Even Arnaud could jump positions as well in a P16, which is great to see. 4 tenths behind Kyle. So very, very impressive. So well done to all the drivers so far. And this race is just not over yet. It's just the race has been a lot of surprises so far, and anything could change at the battle of the hat right now, as Netsky just can't make his way past Tomar.
No, he can't, but Lakitu is coming back. He's in P6, but he is within the DRS window of Jules, and there could be a chance of an overtake into turn 1. So I'm going to keep watching that, as Josh is the lead of that little train there, but Lakitu is looking menacing. He's on the charge, and it looks as though he's about to make a claim for a podium position in the closing stages of this race.
I wonder if Tifosi will be packing up and going home after they saw Lakitu dropping down the order like that, or will they be cheering Lakitu on? We'll have to wait and see. Lakitu goes for the lunge side by side into turn 1. Jules holds on ever so slightly, but Lakitu is a menace. He does not want to give up here at the Temple of Speed. He wants to do it for his home fans. Still going side by side past the Curve Grande out of turn 3 and heading towards turn 4. Lakitu's going to go for the send. Can he make it work? Maybe. It's going to be a very tight entry past turn 4. Lakitu just edges it, but Jules has gone on to a spin. Be careful, my friend, because you're probably going to be non-ghosted at any time soon. Luckily, he was ghosted, so no cause for concern there, as Jules has hit the wall. And we got a retirement. Will we see a safety car? I won't be surprised if we do. No, a VSC.
That looked like it. I mean, I'm not going to say much, but that didn't look like that was an accident, is all I can say on that retirement there. We'll see later, but for now, we are back to the front, and Netsky may well be welcoming that VSE just so he can cool his tyres down a little bit, but Lakita will be frustrated with that as he was making inroads, but now he has to back off a little bit and go again, which sometimes it's hard to do. So let's see if he can bounce back after this VSE, but Tom R still in the lead.
I wonder whose fault it was that as well, because both of them took a lot of risks, Jules and Lakita, into turn 4, but I don't know. It's hard to tell from the POV of if it was Jules spinning on his own or they made contact. It's hard to tell. So luckily the stewards will have access to the POVs if they do decide to report it. So they would have a little bit more of an idea of what went on in that situation. So yeah, I won't be saying my views on that matter. It will be down to the stewards. But yeah, I got to agree. I think Jules' retirement was definitely interesting. I don't think you're allowed to do that in OneHub. You're not allowed to retire on purpose, I don't think. You will, I think, be penalised for that if you get caught, and it was caught on stream. So that is another kick in the teeth for Jules, but we're down to 15 runners so far as Netsky, he's not giving up without a fight, but Tom R is just flying on those softs, even though he's on older tyres, but I'm sure Netsky's going to be quicker at the end of the race due to him being on newer tyres. But Tom R is just not giving up without a fight. He's had some bad luck in Spain. He did retire, I think, unfortunately. And he could be back in his championship fight if he gets another win today. I think it'll be his second win in the top tier, which probably he was not expecting coming into this race so far. But fair play to him. Meanwhile, Noah and Josh having a little bit of a scrap with the Lakita as well. This is going to be turning into a 3-car fight. Larkin gets past Clock as well. Let's go on board with Lakita then. I think the DRS train is probably not going to help any of them. I think whoever's going to blink first is going to be the one that goes for the move. Is Noah going to go for the lunge? Nope, maybe not. I think if Noah or Josh does not get a move on, Lakita will probably pounce right at this very second, and he could get a move. Someone almost made a mistake there. That might have gained Lakita a bit more of an advantage here as well. I think they're on the same amount of penalties as well. So this is for track position as they head through Haas Second Lesmo into the next DRS straight. Lakita 3/10 behind Noah. Noah 3/10 behind Josh. No inroads at this moment in time, but still a really good fight for this podium sport. Even Vienna, with the less penalties he got, maybe he could get on the podium potentially as well. Same with Larkin too. If you get less penalties around this track, you will definitely get rewarded. That's how a few of our drivers in Prospect got awarded today. They're getting less penalties and they were able to stay clear of them and manage to get a podium. As someone has spun, that is Vienna, who was on course for getting a good finish, and he spun in Parabolica. What a shame there. Meanwhile, here comes Noah, Josh and Lakita. It's going to be 3 abreast going into turn 1. Josh trying to defend Noah there as well. This is very squirmy stuff, I gotta say. They almost give me a heart attack as well, but Noah gets past Josh up into P4. Lakita's now going to sense, you know what, if you didn't get past Noah, I can. And he can go side by side into turn 4. Let's hope he can make it stick this time. He does, up into P4. My oh my, these 3 drivers are definitely giving us something to watch in this tier at the moment, and Noah could be on for his best result of the season if he could pull away from the likes of Lakita and Josh so far. Josh is out of reach of the podium, but do not give up. He's got his teammate for company as well of Khalifa. I wonder if there's going to be any team orders, or are they going to be allowed to fight? If I was them, I would be allowed to fight, but we'll have to find out very, very soon as well. But my oh my, this is insane, and the battle's still going to go on for the rest of the last few laps, I have to say. Lakita is just closing up on Noah. Josh is closing up on Lakita. This is just mind-boggling. A spot final battle for the podium, and we also got battle for the points as well. So that is great to see. Meanwhile, we got a battle for the lead and in towards turn 1. Netsky finally had the edge to get past Tom R, but Tom R, his potential was going to go on the inside, but couldn't quite make it work. But Tom R could go for the edge this time. He's going to try, I think, go around the left-hand side of Netsky. Couldn't quite do it, of course. but Netsky having advantage there. Lakitu is up into third place of this race. There were so many battles that were going on that it was hard to keep track of, but we were following the battle for the lead. That was the most important, but my oh my, the battle for the podium is very important as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they managed to get 3 wide into turn 1 a lap or so ago, but as you were watching Netsky take the lead from Tomar, Lakitu did exactly the same move on Noah to get P3, and I think it's going to be a tall order for Lakitu to get any higher than where he is now, but I think he can just look to solidify his podium position, which I'm sure at the start of play he wouldn't be happy with, but given how his race has gone, I'm sure on reflection he may be okay. As we are rapidly approaching the final lap of the race, all of a sudden, look as we go across onto the final lap. As I say that, Netsky leads from Tom by about half a second, and Lakitu leads the battle for the final podium position by about a similar margin, if not a little more, over Noah and Josh. And Calzo's got past Khalifa there in the background a few moments ago, so it's all go, and it's never really over until the line here in Pinnacle tier, and even then you're still not sure who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, exactly. They're just all fighting like it's going to be the final lap. Here comes Calzo on Josh. I think Josh was caught napping there through the Curva Grande. I think Josh will definitely fight back here as well. Calzo is a machine. He was like, you know what? You're napping. I can gain. And that's exactly what he did. Probably the move of the stream, I have to say. Brilliant job from Calzo. He could be on for a P5 here as well. Larkin did pick himself a penalty, so he was penalty free. Now he's not, which is a bit of a shame, but the battle is still going on. I think it's a 5-car train for the podium, because Khalifa is also on this train as well, who could get Josh through Ascari. But let's watch Netsky as the battle for the win could still intensify. I don't think Tomar is closing enough to Netsky, unfortunately. So Netsky is going to come across the line and take another victory at OneHubRacing Pinnacle tier and extends his lead. Tomar gets the second place, but who's going to get the podium is going to be close between Lakitu and Noah. I think Lakitu just edged him there. Noah in 4th, Calzo 5th, Khalifa in 6th, Josh in 7th, Larkin in 8th, Glock in 9th, and Cliffy rounds up your top 10. But we got Konzo and Fatality that are potentially going to be fighting for 2 points in this race. Fatality scored a penalty that may have costed him in this race, and it may cost him a point, but we'll see. Because Arnold's got no penalties. I think Fatality will just be lucky there. No! Fatality just misses out there. If it wasn't for that penalty, Fatality would have got another point. But for Arnold, that is a benefit. He's got 1 point added to his name. Kyle across the line in P14, and Vienna looks like he's doing donuts, but that gives me a great opportunity to find out who got the fastest lap inside the top 10. Inside the top 10 is, I'm just having a look, I think it's Noah who gets it inside the top 10. Outside the top 10 is Vienna. So even though Vienna finished in 15th, I think he's still classified. Yes, he is. He will get the fastest lap outside the top 10. And a bonus factor, he got the fastest lap overall as well. So well done to him.
Yeah, it hasn't gone very well for him today, but fastest lap overall, he's got to be happy with that, and that is a point outside the top 10. As you know, every position matters here in OneHubRacing, and it's a fantastic rule, and it's given me so many points when I didn't deserve any. I take that, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that, but here's the podium celebration. There's virtual champagne being sprayed everywhere. We are completely safe from any issues there, but I will let Jess talk you through the provisional order, and things may change in the week after shooting inquiries, but for now, take it away, Jess.
Okay, so here we go then. Netsky is in first place and will extend the lead even more. The championship title will be coming even closer on his mind at the moment. One of the early drivers along with Arnaud to get no penalty, so well done to the both of them. Tomar in P2, what could have been for him? Netsky was just quick on his day. Lakitu in 3rd. He would have probably wanted to fight for the win, but P3 is a good consolation prize. Noah in 4th. Calzo in 5th. Khalifa 6th. Josh 7th. Larkin in 8th. Glock in 9th. Cliffy in 10th. Konzo and Arnold make up your final points finishers, as well as Fatality, Carl and Vienna being your final finishers. And your retirements, unfortunately, are Jules, J-Luke, Toxic, and Chris. So we've had 4 retirements so far in this in this race, which is a bit of a shame. Like we said, Vienna and Noah will be getting the actually no, it is Noah. I thought it wasn't Noah. Noah and Vienna will be getting the fastest lap points for inside and outside the top 10. So Matt, it's now our time to have a little bit of thinking. We got to decide who our driver of the day is, which I think is going to be a tough call. I'll let you go first. Who is your driver of the day? What would you like to ask him?
Yep, so many great battles, so many potential contenders, and it's virtually more and more difficult every week. So thanks to all the Pinnacle drivers for providing such terrific entertainment. But I think I'm going to have to go with Cliffy. He started at the back, finished 10th in a regular race. That would be worthy of itself. But here, especially OneHub, when he hasn't always had the best of form. So I'm going to ask him, do you still love this track as much as Jess said at the start? And do you think you could have got any more on another day?
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna have to look at Taz actually, because I can't remember who finished where. It's a very tough one actually, but I'm gonna go for the boring shot. Unfortunately, this week I'm gonna have to go with the race winner, Netsky. He's done all he can tonight. He had lots of things thrown at him. He had a good battle with Lakitu as well as Tomar. We thought he wasn't going to get the move eventually, but he made it stick. And my question is, with a few more rounds to go, do you think you could wrap up the title this season and make it a close fight with your championship rivals? So that is our driver of the days, Netsky and Cliffy. You can vote for them with a poll that either goes out later on tonight or early tomorrow morning. So make sure you do check that out as well. It's going to be a close one, I have to say as well. Next week, we head to the Russian Grand Prix, which I have to say is a Marmite relationship. Some people like it, some people hate it. I hate it personally to drive. It's not the best track, but I'm sure quite a few people in this tier absolutely love it. And a track where it could have loads and loads of penalties. But before we go, let's give a big round up to our sponsors, Next Level Racing, who's doing a giveaway for the GT Light Cockpit. If you follow us on all of our social medias. We also got Vespertine, that's also providing our prizes. Helping provide our prizes, sorry. We've got Liam RBS, who is a content creator who's also sponsoring our trophies this year. You can follow him at twitch.tv/LiamRBS. Time to print 3D. You can get a code 20% off of the latest track, which is Monza, using the code OneHubRacing. And we've also got, obviously, 3M Sim Racing, who is providing gloves to the driver with the most poles and the drivers with the most fastest laps. I think Netsky is in good contention after this week. We're getting another pole to his name. And finally, we got our final partner, Elite Racing Team, ERT, who are providing prize money to the winner of the Going Gets Tough Award, which is people who complete all their pre and post-race interviews. And they also give all their ERT drivers that want to race with us free race premium entry. So that is it for OneHub this week. Thank you to Matt for joining me in the commentary box once again.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me once again and putting up with my insane ramblings when I can't pronounce words. It's been a pleasure. See you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week for the Russian Grand Prix. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a good day, everybody. Goodbye.